over Limerick in the first round. While it had all the makings of a tense and tight 70 minutes of hurling in Thurles, Jim Carney is your commentator.
It's a big day in the hurling life of Donal O'Cusack from Cloyne, taking over in the Cork goals from long-serving Ger Cunningham. The defence too is packed with promising young players. Glad no doubt to have the vast experience of Brian Corcoran at number 6 as their guiding influence. Mark Landers and Mickey O'Connell form a new midfield partnership, while up front Fergal McCormack provides the muscle, Shawnee McGrath and Joe Dean the artistic touches, and Timmy McCarthy, Ben O'Connor and Neil Ronan youthful exuberance. Waterford are captained this season by Brian Flannery at number 4, beside proven full-back line colleagues Tom Feeney and Sean Cullinan. Stephen Frampton has made a very successful switch to centre half-back, and the good news for the team is that starman Tony Brown has furthered his recovery from torn ankle ligaments, and he's confident of lasting the 70 minutes at midfield. Paul Flynn at number 14 is one of the most gifted forwards in the game. He was in dazzling form last time out, as was Ken McGrath at number 12, while Billy O'Sullivan at 11 and Micheál White at 13 have made themselves first choices this year. Your big match referee is Aidan McSivin of Dublin. The prize, a Munster final tilt with mighty Clare. And it's Fergal McCormack with the first scoring chance of the game for Cork. And it's drifted away wide. Cork playing with whatever slight advantages in the wind into the town end of Semple Stadium, Thurles. First good catch of the game in the middle of the field, Fergal Hartley of Waterford. Hit out by Sean O'Halpine, and a bit of help from Mark Landers, the Cork captain. Low towards Dave Bennett's corner. Dave Bennett fast onto that ball. Scoring chance for Dave Bennett. He was free, got the point. Good score, good touch. Joe Dean out from full forward, a hard challenge in Joe Dean, sideline ball at least to Cork, and it may even be a little bit more. And Aidan McSivin is going to speak to a Waterford man. Stephen Frampton, very, very strong man at the heart of the Waterford defence. And a hard challenge there went in on Joe Dean, but at this level of the game, Joe will know that this is what you expect when you're as good as he is. This is Joe Dean of the most unorthodox free-taking style. Shortening the grip, hands well apart, but it's a style that works. A consistently excellent free taker, Joe Dean. And Cork are off the man. Tony Brown, a little subdued in the early minutes, the play isn't really going his way. Micheál White, good ball down low to Flynn to chase. O'Sullivan with him. Two very good players marking each other here today, Flynn and O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan sticking well to his task, but Flynn with the ball and playing it a little bit short. There was good pressure exerted there by Diarmuid O'Sullivan, credit the defender. Mark Landers fends off a hard challenge from Brian Green. Landers to go for his score from way out the field. Tremendous drive by Landers, the captain of Cork. Mark Landers, his confidence will be up after hitting 1 point. And after making room for himself, just chopped that one a little. Inside. A chance of a goal, but it's gone wide. It's gone wide. Joe Dean, to a player of his exceptional ability, he'll feel that that was a miss. Now Landers may have been going for a score. He got it short. Dean surprisingly didn't go first time to get it in. And Landers was there for Waterford. Good goalkeeping by Brendan Landers, but Cork will feel that that was a miss by no less a man than Joe Dean. Mickey O'Connell driving it well, and there's consolation for Cork after a goal missed by Joe Dean. Mickey O'Connell gets the point, and that will settle Cork after several misses in the last 5 minutes or so. The huge crowd now getting behind both teams. Sean O'Halpine covering for Cork. has been a little bit subdued there, Sean O'Brien, been so far in the game, but it's coming a bit better for him now with Brian Corcoran in support. Corcoran to make a run and to lift Cork. Dan Shanahan going back, but Corcoran making great space for himself. Great drive by Corcoran, inspirational. Fergal Hartley for Waterford. To Dave Bennett's corner. Fergal Ryan there for Cork. Bennett just kicked it up to himself. Nice little touch. Good skill by Bennett. Looking for Flynn, the full forward. Lovely turn by Flynn. Beautiful striking. Great hurling. You're looking at one of the very best in the business, but what a good ball across it was by Dave Bennett. You've got to credit the top of the left too. Hartley under it for Waterford. Landers there for Cork. Good ball back to O'Connell in the middle of the field. Great ball by O'Connell. 2 frees to his name. A third. This time from play. Great shooting by Cork. Great shooting by both sides now at Semple Stadium. Well, as we watch from the old stand here in Thurles, no doubt you'll have noted that most of the play so far, and we've had 23 minutes, 24 minutes, seems to be the far side of the field. Now, fast ball in to Joe Dean. Will he turn his man here? Or will he go for a score from out the field? Joe Dean went for the score and got it. Now it took the little wizard just a little bit of time to settle and to find his rhythm and his touch, but he's found it now. Now Sean Cullinan, the fullback, did nothing wrong here. Indeed, he kept Joe Dean out the field, but he was still able to hit the target. Now Billy O'Sullivan standing under this one with Diarmuid O'Sullivan. There's a man loose inside. That man is Micheál White, but it just won't come to him. There was a chance just for a second, and John Brown, the Cork left fullback, there to the rescue to Dan Shanahan, who can take a point here. Yes! Every vantage point is taken at Semple Stadium today. The crowd, I suspect, is much bigger than pundits thought during the week, and the crowd simply can't get enough top quality hurling. Neil Ronan out from full forward. Joe Dean is waiting inside, so to O'Connor, who seems to have got the measure of Brian Flannery in terms of getting there first to the ball. But Flannery's a tigerish defender, and he battles hard and battles hard. And the referee, Adon McSivney, is whistling and whistling. And he's acknowledging that the linesman has the right to make the decision here. It's a Cork sideline ball. Waterford don't like it, but they've got to get on with it. Mickey O'Connell with the sideline ball. Beautiful cut all the way over the bar. The in-form Mickey O'Connell. 3 points up to that. 2 from play. 1 from a long-range free, a 65, and now he's got a sideline cut. Corcoran there for Cork. And even when he missed it the first time, he went back to rescue it with a bit of help from Fergal Ryan. Timmy McCarthy onto the breaking ball. Good run by McCarthy. Will he go all the way here and get it to Dean? Good work in the Waterford defence. Sean Cullinan to the rescue again. Stephen Franton there too. Dean to get it back to Fergal McCormack. Chance of a point. Good score by Fergal McCormack. Now Cork are putting the Waterford backs under intense pressure. Fergal McCormack, the scorer. It's half-time in Semple Stadium, and Cork go in. 3 points to the good, 10-7. And once they found their rhythm and once they got into their stride, they were the better side in that first half. And Brian Corcoran it was who launched a marvellous run, which he crowned with a superb long-range point from play, and that, you feel, was not just the best point we saw in the first half, but perhaps the turning point. At half-time in Semple Stadium, Thurles, in the Munster semi-final, it's Cork 10 points, Waterford 7 points. Tony Brown then, not quite the majestic dominant figure he was last year. And so unusual for him to fluff sideline balls. But Ken McGrath to pick up the pieces and get a point. That's his third of the game. And this now is much more like it for Waterford, and the blue and white flags are flying around Temple Stadium. O'Halpin, nicely up by O'Halpin. Hurled on by O'Connell to Dean. Good pick up by Dean, going for a score. Beautifully done once again by Joe Dean from Kelly. What a lovely touch away that was by Sean O'Halpin. On then to Dean, out in front of his man. Eye on the ball all the way. Lovely turn. Lovely strike by Joe Dean. On to Timmy McCarthy, the runner. Good work by Ken McGrath for Waterford. He's really in the game now in the second half to good effect, Ken McGrath. McCarthy, two men to give it to. One of them is Mickey O'Connell, the midfielder. But no fewer than 4 points in the first half. Going for a fifth. That's a superb effort by Mickey O'Connell from Middleton, a famous club in Cork. Green there for Waterford. Good hurler. Off his left side. Towards Dave Bennett. And Billy O'Sullivan looking again for Flynn, coming to Micheál White, a point for the taking. He's got it. Good score by Micheál White as that ball was flashed across. That was good play by Waterford. Well taken. Swung in and over the bar by Mickey O'Connell once again. And that, would you believe it, is his 6th point of the game. 6 points to a midfielder. That's some scoring. Billy O'Sullivan. Locked, half locked, and then cleared away. To Timmy McCarthy. His pace is causing Brian Green problems this afternoon. Fergal McCormick is free inside him. Can McCarthy go all the way and take his own score? Yes! Tony Brown, nicely to Pat Watch. The low ball for Flynn. The Cork backs are marking their men well this afternoon. But then McGrath to cut through. Ryan there for Cork to guide that ball out. He needs a bit of help. Well, at the second attempt, Ryan gets in his clearance. Further Ryan from Baines Black Rock in Cork City. McCarthy again, the runner. McGrath's inside. Screaming for a pass. McCarthy, he got a point a minute ago. His confidence is sky high. He's got a second one for himself now. Well, they'll be proud of this man in Castle Lyons in County Cork. Timmy McCarthy, he can run, he can go for scores, and he can take scores. Tony Brown, how Waterford would love to see the Tony Brown of '98. Now what's on here is White watches for the break. No break. Donald Cusack. Then relieving clearance off his left side. Great catch by Peter Queally. Nice ball to the right half forward Dan Shanahan. And at last Dan Shanahan has exploded into the game for Waterford, and they needed that score. Waterford back into an attacking position. Paul Flynn has got to take on his men here. Flynn has O'Sullivan with them all the way. O'Sullivan fouls him, it's a free, and the point will do for Waterford. But there was no way that Diarmuid O'Sullivan was allowing in Paul Flynn for a goal there, the way the Limerick full-back line did last time out. 15 minutes to go. Could Flynn be thinking of a goal? Drives it! No better man to go for it, no better man to get it than Paul Flynn from Ballygunner in Waterford. Ken McGrath, a defensive midfielder just now. The Cork defence have to battle hard again. Fergal Ryan has discarded his helmet. Dan Shanahan going for a score, and Dan Shanahan with an inspirational score, and suddenly now it's blue and white all around Central Stadium. Dan Shanahan the scorer. Now what's in Waterford and what's in Cork to defend? It's down to a point. Waterford a goal and a point to Mark Landers, the Cork captain. And if ever a captain led by example, it was Mark Landers there. And suddenly, Cork hearts are up again. Two points in a rousing second half. Dan Shanahan bids to cut it back to one again. It's just gone wide. Well, Dan Shanahan is pleading with the referee. And there's the passion, and there's the intensity, and there's the emotion. Will this be once again a controversial point or not a point? Dan Shanahan would say that he had the best view. Donald Cusack certainly thought it was outside. And Adon Maksivna is not just paying no heed to Dan Shanahan. He's going to punish him for holding up the game. And he's gone further. It's a yellow card for Dan Shanahan. McCarthy running away from Brown. McCarthy has a man to his left, and he puts it over the bar. It was sheer confidence there as McCarthy finished that, because he could have flicked it to his left and let somebody else took the responsibility. He took the responsibility, he took the point. Won by Sherlock. The Corkbacks are really doing their stuff. Brown to hurl it away over to the right wing. Landers shift the challenge, but now the referee has deemed it to be an illegal challenge, and Mark Landers is absolutely disgusted by that decision. Now, let's see, was this a fair shoulder-to-shoulder effort? Ken McGrath came in, and Mark Landers will surely feel hard done by there. Now, who hit who? That's the question. Well, Peter Queally has run a long way there to get involved and to push a Cork man back, or perhaps to more than push him. Neil Ronan was too close to the ball. It upset Peter Queally. With only 7 minutes to go, Waterford need to get on it. They need to play the ball. Ken McGrath keeping a low trajectory on it. And it's a free out. And Diarmaid O'Sullivan goes in to assert himself, because clearly they were Waterford forwards inside the small rectangle. And there, as Ken McGrath came across, well, it's clear what the answer was. Who is who? You can make up your own mind. Landers was clearly hard done by them. Now Mickey O'Connell from out the field for Cork, the man who can do no wrong this afternoon. Mickey O'Connell, point after point for him. Well, the Corkbacks soaking up all the pressure, except for the goal from the free. Dave Benton, Ken McGrath, good ball in, and the swing, which Donald Cusack has to be very, very vigilant and very alert to. And the umpire is there to try to prevent an outbreak of aggression here. He can prevent an outbreak of tension, and Diarmaid O'Sullivan went in hard there. And it would be interesting to see exactly what did happen in there when that ball dropped. So here it is. Some hard swinging here. As Anthony Kerwin went in, number 21 on top of Donald Cusack, and it started there. Down against Cullen, did well to get it back to Dean. Feely there for Waterford. Caught there in numbers. A shot and a point. Kevin Murray, the substitute. It's all Cork now, and Waterford can see the sideline ball from the fast puck out. It's going all wrong now for Waterford. A minute to go. O'Connell to Dean. Dean going for a score. It's coming in. Yes, all the way in by Joe Dean. As accurate from play as he is from freeze. Jimmy Barry Murphy just walked across in front of Gerald McCarthy there as Waterford got a point. But you feel it can be no more than a consolation now. It's all over at Centre Stadium, and Cork go through to the Munster final. Jimmy Barry Murphy is elated and triumphant. It'll be Cork and Clare, and what a prospect that offers. As Waterford, despite a valiant effort, go out of the championship race. Some wonderful scores, some great passages of play, and the final scoreline that sees Cork advance 24 points to Waterford's 115.
So we picked a young team that we thought would play well in Thurles, and I'm delighted for the players. They deserve it. They've worked very, very hard, and it's great for Cork to be back in the Munster final.
You were quoted during the week, Jimmy, as saying that you picked fellas because they were hurlers, pure hurlers.
Well, I'd like to think we can, Jim, and we picked the team certainly today. A lot of players have been involved with us over a number of years with minor under 21, and they've always played well here in Thurles for Cork. And you know, as I said, we put it up to them today, asked them for a huge effort, big factor for us to be back in the Munster final since 1992, and I'm just thrilled for the players. They really came of age, a lot of them, and I'm very proud of them.
After last year's All-Ireland under 21 final, I thought we don't come much better, getting man of the match of that. But today was just a dream come true for me and for Cork, I don't
know whether you know this, Mickey, but you got 8 points, 4 from play. That's something.
I mean, when you go out and mark Tony Brown, you don't expect to score 2 points, and to score 4 from play, sure, I mean, in fairness to the rest of the team, a lot of them were from breaks, and they did the Trojan work and laid the ball off to me. And I feel like they were the sticks are,
Jimmy, Clare, how do you assess them now in relation to what's ahead for you?
Well, they're the best team in the country, and I think they showed yesterday the kind of form they showed against us last year. But we're heading to a Munster final now, and we can't wait to have a go at them. They're the standard everybody's after, and they gave an unbelievable display in Páirc Uí Chaoimh yesterday. But we're going up there with a great chance, and can't wait to get into the Munster final and look at and play them.
Yeah, well, Waterford had high hopes, of course, of building on the progress they'd made in last year's championship. Cork had picked a team that had surprised many, but the proof of the pudding is always in the result on the scoreboard at the end of the day. Tomás Mulcahy, we heard Jimmy say there, he picked a team specifically for this game in Thurles. It was a big gamble, but obviously it worked.
Yes, I suppose he opened a lot of people's eyes in Cork during the week when they announced the team. But I mean, you have 5 selectors on their selection committee, and I mean you have a lot of All-Ireland medals between those selectors, and they knew the players. I mean, they've worked with the players over the last 12 months, 2 or 3 years. Jimmy and Tom Cashin has been with this team. Sure, he knew the ability and the actual hurling ability that this team had, and they were brave to make the decision that they did. But today it has worked out wonderfully well for Cork.
One thing that struck you watching the match there was the sort of, I suppose, the youthful enthusiasm, for want of a better expression. They seemed to be on a real cracking pace.
Yes, I mean, they're a lively team. Obviously, when you're playing a very young squad, you expect to move the ball quickly, and I mean, their tactic today was to move the ball as quickly as possible. Go back to the old traditional Cork hurling, let the ball do the work, and move the ball as quickly as possible. Instances in the game today where their defence was very, very dominant. Their half-forward line were very, very dominant. So their inside forward line, even though they're small in stature, obviously provided a lot of headaches for the Waterford defence as well. So overall, it was a very, very good performance by the whole team.
And their build-up play was excellent in taking some of those scores.
Yes, tactically, I suppose they got it right today, because I mean, they switched Joe Dean from corner forward to full forward, and Joe Dean is no better man in a central position, but the service has to be right. He needs to get the ball in front of him. Here we see a good ball from Fergal McCormack. Joe out in front of his marker, and as I said, there's no better man in a position like that to take his score. Here we see it in the second half, a good hand pass by Sean O'Halpine out to Mark Landers, and routine stuff by Mark, puts the ball just down in front of Joe. His first touch lets him away here, but he turns, and he's 40 yards out from goal, maybe 50 yards out from goal, but it's no difficulty. He is very, very accurate from situations like that, so tactically that worked well for Cork today.
Waterford scored 115. I mean, there was nothing wrong with that. It would have been good enough to win a lot of matches.
Yes, I mean, you've got to give credit to Waterford as well. They came back into the game very, very strong in the second half and brought the game down to 1 point or 2 points, and overall, I suppose, their lack of scoring power up front when Paul Flynn was held today just to a point from play told in the end. Cork scored 24 points, which is a great score in any game. To score 16 points from play was tremendous scoring. So they have scoring ability forwards. Waterford, on the other hand, maybe were too dependent on the likes of Dan Shannon and Ken McGrath today to get them out of trouble.
Well, it all looked very refreshing this afternoon in Thurles. But now they're up against Clare. I mean, obviously a team of Clare's experience and strength. What do you reckon about this young Cork team against them?
Well, I mean, the general opinion, Michael, coming into this game was that after watching yesterday, everybody has Clare written as Munster champions, that neither, if it was Cork won today or if it was Waterford won, they weren't going to beat Clare in the championship. I certainly wouldn't agree with that. I mean, we've seen Clare being beaten last year by Offaly after the 3 games. Tipperary certainly gave them enough in the first game below in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. So I think Cork will gain in experience and confidence from today's match. It's a big experience for a lot of younger players to go into the Munster championship like that. We had 6 new players in the team today, so they can only go from strength to strength. It wouldn't be a foregone conclusion, I hope, at the end of the day, but I'm sure Clare are going to be overwhelming favourites.
OK, well now our next pleasant task from this match is to name our man of the match.
My man of the match today certainly is a guy who, in his first championship game at senior level, gave an outstanding performance, and that goes to Michael O'Connell, known as Mickey O'Connell, to contribute 8 points from in a scoring match like this, and get 4 points from play, cut a sideline ball over the bar as he's just done, and to actually be on a player no lesser than Tony Brown to contribute 8 points in his first championship game was a tremendous feat, and he deservedly got man of the match. Well, some very good performances in the other part of the Cork defence. Darren O'Sullivan had a very good game on Paul O'Flynn. Brian Cochran had his outstanding game, but it must go down to Mickey O'Connell.
OK, well, Mickey did extremely well, and I think he summed up